Dobro večer svima, velika nam je čast biti ovdje sa maestrom Najdenom Todorovim I Veskom Eškenazijem. Hello, good evening and welcome. First question is for you, maestro. You have been working with the Sofia Philharmonic for more than 20 years now, either as a guest conductor or director of the orchestra, in addition to numerous collaboration and engagements. You probably know the orchestra by heart. How different it is to work as guest conductor with other orchestras compared to working or conducting orchestra for so many years?
Well, in a different way, I've got this question also before. I remember a member of another orchestra asking me, we see when you work with us, you're enjoying it very much, but when I saw you in rehearsal with Sofia, you're working quite hard with them, so what's the difference? And so this is the difference actually. When I go to work with orchestra that I don't know as guest conductor, in the very first rehearsal, I try to understand where are the limits of the orchestra. And the rest of the time, I enjoy music, working with up to their limits. Now, being sort of principal of an orchestra is something different. Being director of Sofia Philharmonic, I try not to enjoy the process. I enjoy the concert, of course. But during the process, actually, I'm trying to push them always, to see where their limits and to push over the limits. So this is the big difference working with orchestra that I can say my orchestra. I don't want them to enjoy the process. I want them to become better. So this is maybe the reason in over the world, orchestras always like guest conductors more than chief conductors.
Mr. Eškenazi, thank you again for that encore. Imagine was such a surprise, beautiful surprise. Well, you are the concert master of the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra. Here at Lisinski Hall, we often have the honor to welcome distinguished soloists who are concertmasters of famous orchestras. How much that responsible and important position in the orchestra allow you to travel, to prepare the repertoire for solo performances? Does it hold you back in some ways?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I'm very honored to be here in this hall again. Actually, I just remembered that I played as a soloist here in 1988 for the last time, which is a long time ago, but I still remember the hall. A wonderful place. It's a very interesting question because this brings me back even further than 1988, when I was 11 years old. And I started to play as a concertmaster of a youth orchestra in Sofia. And Maestro Vladi Semyonov was my conductor. And he told me, you will play as a concertmaster on tour, but you will also play as a soloist. So this was my this was my double role since I'm a child. And for me, it has always been the same until now. I always combine the concertmaster of a great orchestra, as you said. Thank you very much for that. And solo performances everywhere and very different things. So for me, this is very natural, actually, to have both of them in my career. And I'm very happy to have that.
Maestro Todorov, your biography is full of interesting facts. One of them is that last year you published your first short story collection, of Angels. You write your stories during the flights on your many travels. Your imagination and talent revealed you as an interesting writer who contemplates spirituality, music, instruments, death and life in very creative ways. Where do you find ideas for such topics, and do you plan to continue writing?
Well, good question. First of all, writing stories is something that saves me as a human being, because being a conductor, I have always to work with people, and I have always to try to bring the best of the people I work with. But this is sometimes very tiring, and I need time to stay alive. I need time to be with myself, and this is usually the moments when I start writing. Uh, in the planes, in the past, I used to study scores, but to be honest, last 5 or 10 years, people invite me always at the same works, so I don't have to start to study new works. And I started writing my short stories in the planes. Uh, this is something very interesting, because it combines writing with music. Actually, I find my ideas in the music. But the best thing in the music is it doesn't really tell you the stories. It tells you how you feel when you hear a story. And when you write a story, you can actually understand everything what it is, but now not how it feels. So music and writing are for me one and the same thing, but seen from a different side. And I have to say something more. In the music, you can say much more, but it's not sure that everyone will understand it. Writing stories, you can say exactly what you want, and you know that people will understand it. And this is the reason I write stories about peace. I write stories about angels. I write stories that want to get from all of you your empathy. My stories want to wake up the empathy in the people. And this is what music is for, actually. And we are trying to do it with the music on the stage, but at home, being alone, I do the same thing. And I'm very happy that when people read these stories, they really understand the message.
Mr. Eškenazi, your father and your mother are clarinetist and violist. Your grandma, a big violin lover. I guess your career direction was never in question. Even your wife is a violinist. And on the top of that, you are one of few artists who has the opportunity to work with his own brother, Martin Pentelev, conductor, composer, also violinist. You toured together. He was a conductor, you as a soloist. How much and what kind of competitiveness and competition did music in your childhood cause in two of you? What was that like? And today, how is your collaboration today like?
This question is very close to my heart, so thank you for that. Martin Pantelev is not only a conductor, but as Maestro Todorov just reminded me, he has been also the chief conductor of Sofia Philharmonic Orchestra for some seasons. And we have done a lot of things together, of course, since childhood. And I want to say that maybe our neighbors, where we lived in an apartment in Sofia, they still remember that we played all day long. Me, my brother, my mother, and my father, all day long. So our neighbors still remember us very well. This is of course a joke, but it's a reality. So we grew up together, playing together, very naturally again, and we have been like that always, and we are still like that. So we still do things together on stage. And he lives in Germany. My brother lives in Germany. My parents are with pension. They still live in Sofia, where I go very often to perform. Like we just had this concert 2 days ago with Maestro Todorov in Sofia, and I saw them there as well. And we always remember those days, wonderful days, when we were in one small apartment in Sofia, all of us working with different instruments, and of course my neighbors. We will never forget them. Thank you so much for our neighbors.
Thank you so much for this. We wish you all the best in the future. Please don't wait another 25 years to come back here. Hvala vama, dragi posjetitelji. Do sljedeće subote kada ugošćujemo uvaženog orguljaša Stevena Tarpa. Želimo vam ugodnu večer i laku noć. Hvala.